What happens when Alexis and Julian attempt to take a vacation? Will they be able to fake interest in each other? And what's that she's wearing? To answer this and many more questions, allow me to take us back to the beginning. Hello and welcome to Lawd Lukan. It's time to stock up on waxing strips as we join the Parkers on vacation. On today's show, Alexis forgets to pack her butt. Julian flexes his muscle. We cook breakfast with Alexis. And Alexis asks Julian if he wants to be single.
Right, because you was thinking about being single.
All this and more right here on the Lawd Lukan channel. Good day, comment allez-vous, and ohayo to you. Big loves to those who've subscribed, you beautiful people, and a Urasaro tasting menu to the lords and ladies of the Lukan Manor. Well then, mon petit pois, what disaster do you get when you cross a minor celebrity, eating, drinking, and an ill-advised outfit? Well, I'm not talking about that time that Darcy Silver went missing in Amsterdam and turned out that she fell in a bush, or when Karen Hugo of the Housewives of Protomac had a spot of bother with a Maserati.
Yes, you're okay.
How much you drink tonight? How much alcohol?
Are you good?
Or Halle Berry's recent oops. So, aside from all those disasters, and maybe that other housewife, Shannon Beder. And Katie the Nun Killer Perry. The Jonas Brothers, Jennifer Lawrence, Madonna, the Island Boys robbing 6ix9ine's house, and the P. Diddler. But apart from all those things, well, what you get is today's video, courtesy of the dynamically challenged duo Alexis and Julian. And I know, I said I'd covered all their videos, but I found one that I couldn't get to work before. Yes, I know, aren't we lucky? Well, you know, it'd be the kind of luck that you get when you fall off your bike and, look, I found a penny. Or when you're filming your man and you accidentally catch the greater spotted Angela Deem flying through your shot. You know, the sort of luck that's a bit subjective. So we start our video with a segment called Cooking with Alexis. Oh yes, last time she managed to cook bacon 3 ways at once. Burnt, just right, and still oinking. Then this time she's making breakfast. So we begin with 3 eggs. Cool, well you can't get that too wrong. Then the next important ingredient, a big old glass of rosé. Yeah, I need a bit of Dutch courage before I have to spend the day with Captain Wow too. Then we add half a kilo of cheese. You know, just chuck the whole thing in, it'll be fine. Then maybe a vegetable for your 1 of the 5 a day.
Some vegetables, make some vegetables with it.
Yeah, she doesn't actually add any vegetables, unless you count wine as a vegetable. Oh, what's starting to kick in there a bit. Steady on now, it's still the morning. Then you take some grilled cheese and add some ham. This looks pretty good to me. Grilled cheesy hammy omelette-y thing. Now this video is about as interesting as watching them grill ham. As is evident by the way we then watch ham grilling for a bit. Riveting stuff. Next week we're watching some paint dry, so, you know, stay tuned for that. Then we need some waffles. Now I like mine anemic, so don't let them go a delightful golden colour. Just waft them at the grill and that's totally fine. Oh, and don't forget another glass of wine. Maybe he'll find you more interesting if you're a bit tiddly. Oh, and don't forget to get a drink for your man too. Yeah, there we go, a nice glass of milk. I would totally take the piss and say, well, at least she's got him off the breast now. But I like a nice glass of milk too. Imagine that. Julie and I have something in common. Other than we both find his woman boring and unappealing, of course. Although if I do keep the audio from this clip, it does sound like he's watching Dora the Explorer or something. I have to admit though, that's not a bad breakfast at all, is it? A nice ham cheesy toasty with waffles and scrambled omelette. And then it's the eating bit with a nice big greasy smudge across the lens. Good job. Cue the 20-minute eating clip, but this time they don't talk with their mouth full, they sing with their mouth full. Yeah, that was as coherent as the last thing he vomited out to music. You should put that out. But this time, they actually have what could be described as a conversation. And the topic is Julian's music. And music industry expert Alexis thinks that the reason why he's not getting out there is because he's not got a song on TikTok.
You gotta get one of your songs circulating on TikTok. That's how them shit go up nowadays.
Well, let's go check out his latest track, shall we? He dropped it about 2 months ago, which was in the range of where he and Alex split up. It's called Blank, inspired by his bank balance. and it used distributing company DistroKid to release it onto YouTube and Spotify. DistroKid is just a subscription service that acts as a middleman between the artist and places like Spotify, who only allow your tracks if you have a distributor. So we would have paid like $25 to get those 34 subs and 74 views, and a whole 17 monthly listeners. Wow, yeah, that's worth it. They also chuck your stuff on YouTube, which is why there's a topic called Links MD, and it's not really a proper artist page. Although he must be learning from the onslaught of funny comments in his last song, as he's disabled the comments on this one. So, what's it like? Well, it's a whole 1 minute 33 long, which is about 1 minute 30 longer than it needs to be. The first 13 seconds is this intro. And features dazzling lyrics such as, "Let's make some noise, she don't have a choice. This'll separate the men from boys, she don't want a boy." Wow, that's, sort of Wowington Central. And then I think he says, "For the love of the cage, fuck the minimum wage. What you do for me, what you do for Bo, what you do for the game. If you stick with me like you suppose, I'm not going to range. My shooter got range." Yes, I know what you're thinking, and I think we're all thinking the same thing. Julius's track unfolds like a sonic installation, evoking the raw immediacy of lived experience while simultaneously gesturing towards the performance itself. The opening bars function as brushstrokes, uneven, deliberate, and imbued with a sense of urgency. What emerges is a juxtaposition of bravado and vulnerability. Lines that posture with defiance are undercut by moments of fragility. The track's brevity, scarcely more than 90 seconds, becomes part of its aesthetic. It's not a failure of length, but a deliberate compression of intensity, a miniature canvas where every syllable is a pigment. The listener is invited to confront the tension between ambition and collapse, between the desire to be heard and the inevitability of being misunderstood. Well, either that or we're both thinking it's just a big bag of shit. But, potato, potato. But I'm not sure which is the least coherent. Old Yeasty Boy here, or their table conversation.
When I was on live one time, they was looking at me because I...
What's that? I'm not gonna lie. Good job, probably. But I'm not the only one who's gotten a bit bored of what Alexis has to say. Julian couldn't give a flying flippity doodah about whatever she's got to say either. Granted, she's had a drink, so she's probably blabbering on about blah 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 and who cares, but he's clearly not listening either.
I want to have her pictures popping up, and then me.
See, totally not paying attention to what she thinks. What she thinks is a bit crap, though. For example, she's got more ideas on how they can get his music to blow up. First TikTok, and then...
You either going to have to come up with like a little lit dance that everybody want to do?
Yeah, a dance. Now that's exactly what I was thinking was missing from the music. Nothing to do with, having good music or understandable lyrics. It's clearly a dance that's missing. Perhaps one a bit like this. But this man, boy, whatever, is so not into her. And it gets more and more obvious the more that we watch them. He has a bit of the streets running through his veins, and she's got a rosé running through hers. She thinks she's won the day because she set the baby trap and landed herself a jellyfish, but really, he is itching to go. Sure, he'll come crawling back when the better option gets bored of his broadcast and realises that he's all hype and no substance. But she'll be there with the doors wide open. Anyway, we all know this by now, so let's get to the beach, shall we? And on the way, let's get one of those standard wobbly booby shots from Alexis. Oh, look, she's even got a little armpit boob too. Oh, hold on, where's the chewing noise? It's not a proper Alexis selfie shot without the chewing noises. I'm not even sure if she's actually got any gum in there. It's like she's pretending to have some because she thinks it makes it look cool. And just in case you hadn't had enough of all the pouting and posing in a sort of stringy thing that she's wearing, she cuts to some more. It is nice that she's got this much confidence, and in a way, more power to her. But I can't stop looking at that extra side boob she's got going on. In the armpit too, keep it nice and warm. She's got all the peel of a melted ice cream. A little more clothes and a little less moustache, and I think we're on our way to being passable.
That's a fish.
That's a Julian, actually, but potato, potato. Now, I don't know anything about fishing, except for the fact it's slightly less interesting than Peter Willis, the man voted the most boring man in the UK. Why is he so boring, you might ask? Well, his hobby is photographing postboxes. But that's not all. He also likes drain covers. Ha! Take that, stamp collectors. Anyway, as I was saying, I don't know much about fishing, but Julian's pole looks a little bit inadequate there, doesn't it? Not the most substantial of rods, is it? He won't be catching a slippery dick with that. And yes, a slippery dick is a type of fish. See, it's sort of barely a handful there. Not like this fish. Guess what kind of fish this is? Yes, it's called exactly what you think it's probably called. And they eat it as a hoe in restaurants in South Korea. See, it says so on Wikipedia, so I'm not just being silly. And here it is, swimming around. Probably resembles Michael's inbox. Anyway, back to Julian's disappointingly small equipment. Bless you. But then it gets slightly more interesting as there's some guy in the background injures himself. Then it's just 99% rod, which is, probably a bit like Michael's inbox. But guess what? After what seemed like an absolute age, Julian managed to land a fish. Oh yes, Alexis wanted to catch a cod so they could cook it for dinner, and Julian is obliged. Well, it's a whopper. Well, Julian says he's never had any complaints before. And with that success, they head back to the luxury of the beach. And what's a nice relaxing day at the beach without a few traffic cones, some pigeon, the odd bin liner or two, and a blackbird with a dodgy leg? Man, I'm not talking about, you know what would make this better? If Alexis got her no butt into a thong. Where did her butt go? I didn't want to see that. And Julian doesn't want to see that either. He's too busy building his sandcastles. There's also this really annoying bassy noise on the video, so I'm going to replace it with something less offensive.
Where's your butt, huh? Where's your butt? Ooh, where's your butt, huh? B-U-double-T.
And there's a full version of that at the end of the video, so don't miss that. Also, don't miss that like button on your way past. It's friendly and lets you hype the video afterwards. Anywho, Alexis returns from the sea. That totally messes up his building. No, not there. Can't you see? He's like building a thing. No, some women just don't get men building sandcastle stuff. Looking at this shot though, it does make you wonder about their sexy time. She's a bit bigger than him and it sort of reminds me of that film. Anyway, turns out that Julian's built a traffic cone. And then they both go out to admire the seaweed. From behind it kind of looks like she's got no top on, doesn't it? Ooh, spooky. And then this man arrives on the scene. Now, I'm not casting dispersions or anything, but I'm going to call him Pervy Pete. I don't know why, just happened to be the first thing I thought of. And let's see if he can make it past Alexis without checking out her bum. What do you think? Will he A, totally check out the whole foggy type action? B, see it, then set himself on fire? Or C, check out Julian's butt? Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. And here we go. And he's off. Ooh, look, he spotted her. And then turns away and admires Julian's butt on the way past. So, if you guessed C, give yourself a gold star. Oh, and going back to that traffic cone that suddenly appeared, I wonder if that's where they're hiding their stuff. There was those videos going around about burying your valuables at the beach. So I'm wondering if that's their diabolically genius idea too. But they're not the only ones who are wise to that. Hello, me old mugger. Oh, what's this under here? Bit of keys. Oi, Gary. Hello, Keith. Check this out. Look, keys to a Dodge. Oh, what else we got in there? Oh, yeah, nice one. Nokia. Yeah, must be new one. All right, boys, what's been happening here then? Nah, watch his fake, Gary. Grab the change and let's scarper. But pigeons don't take too kindly to fake stuff lying around the beach, so they send in Craig the kamikaze pigeon to make their point. Ooh, next time, Craig. Next time. Now, Juliana doesn't make an appearance in this video because either they left her in the car with the window open slightly or they've left her with some family members. Let's just hope it's the latter. But clearly, there's enough kidults in this shot already. And they even have his and her buckets to make their little sandcastles. But who makes the bestest sandcastles? Wow, these competitions are getting better, aren't they? Now, Alexis may have beaten his butt at pool, kickball, bowling and moustaches, but who is the king or queen of sandcastling? Well, Alexis to go first. A pretty solid effort, makes it all neat and tidy at the end. Then Julian comes in with his try. Ooh, it's good, let's get a close-up. Yes, look, he's even got the little turrets on it, and a bit of brick texture. I do believe he's got that round. Good job. And this whole time I'm watching, I'm just hoping someone comes along and steals their camera and runs off with it down the beach. But they don't, because it's probably cheap. And then we get them in the water, where Julian tries to pick her up. No. How about we just float around for a bit? That'd be much easier. The next part is really quite telling of how much he does or doesn't like her. They're floating around in the water, and Alexis goes in for a kiss. Then again, and he turns his head away. Then keeps turning his head and facing the other way until she finally gives up, and he makes a break for it. Oh, that's a sign right there. A sign that that man is clearly not at all interested in you. So, after their swim, it's time to hit the mall. No seatbelts either, while he's speeding and moaning about other people not speeding. And Alexis is alarmed because she thinks there's cars driving through the mall.
Oh, that's a street. I got confused. I said, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's what we call a road. It's a hard thing with cars on it. But, that's not important right now. What is important is hanging out with your man, convincing yourself that somewhere deep down, he still gives half a shit. Or, even a quarter would be kind of good.
It's my baby, y'all.
Yeah, he's not your baby. He's just passing through. Also passing through is a large group of gentlemen on motocross bikes, which takes Julius's attention. Which isn't really all that difficult, I guess, because he's always looking for something to avoid Alexis. Ooh, they do look like an interesting bunch of chaps. I do believe it's this interesting bunch of chaps who are clearly very good at riding their motorcycles. Now, they love to collect a few ladies along the way, except this woman, who,
HR? Yeah. That's if we employed, ain't it?
which is where I think Julian sees himself. He's no homebody, happy to play house, make TikTok videos, try to be funny. He yearns to be out there, picking up randoms on his bicycle, acting cool and making lots of noise. He's too young and too regressive to settle, especially for someone who tries to sanitize him and tie him down. I mean, what's next? Ice cream and a spot of golf?
So cute, little vibe in here.
And here we are in the Putt Shack, a delightful 9-hole mini golf course in the Bicknell Center here in Miami. And I'm not going to show you the entire game, as I don't think you came here to be tortured, but this is quite a cool little place. It's got little light-up bits, and they sell cocktails, so they can totally be forgiven for the whole golf thing. Julius steps up to the plate first, and he gives it a go. Okay, well, I missed it, but that's okay. He's playing Alexis, who thinks she's playing baseball, so, that's fine. Now, I don't know anything about the golfs, but I'm fairly sure you don't hold your bat thing that way. The other way. You hit it with the flat side, Calvin. There you go. Lovely. What's that? Oh, yes, I just called him by his real name. Yes, I know. As according to the screens about the place, he called himself Calvin. Maybe he didn't want to get recognised by all those hordes of adoring fans. So, for one of the holes, they have to answer a true or false question and score a goal for the corresponding part of the track. So, Julian's question. It has only snowed once in Miami. Ooh, I didn't know this one. I assumed that it was warm and in southern Florida. It was unlikely, but, not impossible, surely. So, Julius has made the big brain executive decision to hit the ball as hard as he can and just sort of see where it went. And as it headed, kind of, towards the false, that was his answer.
I said true.
Yes, indeedy, it did snow in Miami in 1977. In fact, here's a woman using a spatula to clear the snow from a windshield. They're snow virgins, eh, guys? And here's a devastating snowdrift. And the man who predicted it all with his super-duper high-tech piece of technology. No, not the comb-over, the computer. Look at that bad boy. Were people actually fooled by a comb-over in the 70s? Did they see this and think, yep, that's a full head of hair right there, nothing suspect about this at all? As you can see, though, they hadn't figured out how to use a keyboard yet. But will Alexis be able to answer her question, seeing as she failed all the biology questions in the Science Museum? Well, let's see what she got. The Miami Dolphins are the only team in the NFL history to finish an entire season undefeated. Oh, no idea. I'm just going to guess true, just because it sounds plausible. Plus, it seems like the questions are all about how great Miami is, apparently. But Alexis guesses false. However,
It's true. Oh, I just finessed myself.
yes, indeed, in his hurry to be all big brains about it, he went and gave the answer away. So Alexis can go and get the right answer. Ha, that's a shame, isn't it? Go on, Alexis, get your points.
That's why it's false. Sorry, now I'm perfect. Damn, I finessed myself.
But then, because big old brain Julius managed to know something for once, he gets a bit excited and tries to pour some additional knowledge juice on it.
They the only team that finished undefeated besides the Patriots.
Well, they wouldn't be the only team then, would they, Jules Stein? In fact, in 2007, the Patriots nearly did it. They went 16-0 in the regular season, won 2 playoffs, but lost the Super Bowl to the New York Giants, which I totally knew. Yeah, of course. Nothing to do with Googling that at all.
She ass.
Yeah, but she's your girlfriend. So, Anyways, Julius is currently winning, and they've got 2 holes left. Tee. And the next one is beer pong. And Julius is getting ready to swing his stick and hope for the best. He needs to win big to get ahead of Alexis. Wow, check out those muscles as he flexed. I'm not sure who'd win in an arm wrestle, him or Forky. But that's super annoying, isn't it? I really wanted Alexis to beat his butt and shut him up for the evening, even though you know that he'll be sulking in the car all the way home. So we need a solid shot from Alexis on this one. Oh, look, the bag's coming off. Must be serious. Come on, girlie, let's get it. I've never been so supportive of her. I tell you what, if you sink this and get the points, I won't play the Where's Your Butt song again. Now, that's got to be an incentive, isn't it? So, come on, Alex. Oh, what? No way. You suck. She's arse, as Julius would say. And I'm not going to show him winning the last hole too, mostly because I don't want to give him any more credit, and mostly because it was so dull that I really had nothing to make it slightly fun. But I do believe that Alex has got the last laugh.
Winner! Who was Calvin?
I do love how she's trolled him by using his real name. I don't really get what's wrong with the name Calvin. Possibly he just simply doesn't like it, or maybe it's something to do with his dad. But Calvin suits him more than Julius does. Julius sounds almost gladiatorial. Julius Maximus. Now there's a name that sounds strong and in charge. And then we see him, and that's, okay. Or even maybe because it's to do with that drink that's quite popular, that Don Julius, or Julius, or whatever you might say. I thought Calvin sounds quite cool, personally. It's got connotations of fashion, and a kid with a little imaginary tiger. Whereas here's a guy who has an imaginary talent.
She wants some pity.
No, she wants a razor and a tongue scraper, by the looks of it. So, after another crazy car ride without any seatbelts, I mean, if you've got a kid who is, or might be slightly dependent upon your butt being alive, why do this? I get it, when you're a young buck, you might think you're bulletproof. You think crashes don't happen to you because you played Grand Theft Auto. It's just another sign that he just doesn't care about either the people around him or the people that need his stupid ass to be intact. Although having said that, Juliana doesn't exactly have bonds with him. You can see it in the way that she stares at him like a stranger. So, may as well crack on then. Then it's time to refuel the Alexis with some pizza. Really though, is it fire? It's just cheese. They give it the name Margarita to make it sound more interesting and not like it's the most boring pizza on the menu. I mean, it is though, isn't it? I mean, don't give me any cool flavours like pepperoni, which everyone knows is the best thing ever on pizza. This is what I'd call a naked pizza. If Alex was a pizza, she would be this one. Regular, slightly crispy around the edges, and without any spice and interesting things. The vanilla of pizza toppings. And I'd hate to see the pizza naked as much as I'd hate to see her naked. But there is some relative excitement about to happen. Julius has decided they should go for some night fishing, ninja styly.
Drop ski.
Oh, wow. I'm scared. I got my ice cream.
Now, for a girl who seems to be intent on reshaping her body, she's not exactly trying very hard with the diet. The waist training and working out without sweating is going to do nothing to help her achieve what she wants to achieve. But, if that's what she wants, cool, you do you. Embrace the curves, enjoy the carbs, the sugars and the fats. But then don't moan about your postpartum podgy bits. In fact, wearing a waist trainer is counterproductive. The tight compression can restrict your lung capacity, and the external compression can reduce your muscle strength. So all these sit-ups aren't really having the effect that she's after. But, being a nurse, she totally understands basic biology, right? Yeah, sure. Anyways, back to the stealthy night fishing, where Julian is treating it like a heist, and Alexis is totally bricking her Spanx. But, oh look, Julian has managed to catch something again.
Not some seaweed. You brought it back home.
All we caught since we've been here.
Some seaweed.
Cool, yeah, you could serve it with the tiddler that you caught earlier. Yeah, not Julian, of course, the fish.
Okay, you got it in there?
And that's what she said. Yeah. And the next clip really makes me wonder about Alexis. She likes to think she's quite smart, even though she has no idea about where the bones go in the body, and, she's trained to be a nurse. But her next question is a doozy. So, Julius is complaining that he can't catch fish, even though he says it's the best place to fish. And Alexis asks,
Is that salt water though? Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I've never been.
is the sea salt water? I mean, really? She's just been in the sea, right? And that's not some kind of advanced knowledge as far as I'm aware. I mean, there's probably a few turds floating about in there, probably the old diaper, but largely, yeah, seawater does tend to be a bit salty. And she says, I don't know, I've never been.
Oh, I don't know. I've never been.
You were just in the fucking thing a few hours ago. How did you not... never mind, let's move on. But really though, I mean, how do you not know that the seawater's salty? But another thing that's salty is Alexis, who has an interesting question for Julius. Now, you can't hear a lot of what is said, but you can clearly hear this questioning statement.
Right? Because you was thinking about being single. Yeah. You was thinking about...
Oh, has Brian been stirring the pot? Whoever Brian is. Maybe he was one of Julian's fan club who was there during the infamous studio girl scene last season. But you'll notice that instead of answering, he just goes quiet and turns away. Yeah, that's just another red flag for the collection right there, isn't it?
Like, you're fishing in the ocean. This is not a river. This is not a lake. Like, this is the ocean.
It is indeed an ocean and not a sea. The Atlantic Ocean, in fact. Oceans, of course, are the big watery bits that are uninterrupted by the landy bits, and seas are the watery bits next to the landy bits that form part of the oceany bits. There we go, she did know that one. She didn't know the oceany bit was made up of salty bits, but she did know it was an oceany bit. In fact, I do believe that they're at this part of the beach here, as we saw a massive number 37 on the floor as they walked to the beach, which corresponds, of course, to the number of the street they're on, i.e. 37th Street. So, if he jumped in the ocean and headed northwest for about 4,000 miles, he'd end up here in the UK, which in theory would only take him 83 days if he swam continuously. Or if he slept, rested, and ate along the way, it'd take him 250 days, or about 9 months. There was a guy who tried it once, called Benoit Lecomte, who, guess what, was French, and claimed to have swum across the Atlantic. But he did sleep and eat on a boat which accompanied him, and it kind of drifted towards its destination during those times, so it was a little bit tenuous. Plus, when a journalist did the maths, he needed to have been swimming at 8 miles an hour, or 3.5 meters per second, which is about the same speed as a tuna, and 4 times as fast as he could swim. So Guinness said no. He then decided to try and swim from Japan to California, which is about 5,000 miles, but this time he would use a GPS to make sure that he got in the water at the same point when he left the water. But in true French style, he sort of gave up. Merde. So, by the end of their ninja fishing session, he caught nothing but seaweed, but they both said it was a vibe, so, presumably that's a good thing. And that was the end of their video. Wow, that was some tough going. She often switches the video into twice the speed for whatever reason, or 150% speed. So if you think you've got a 58-minute video to watch, it turns out to be more like nearly 2 hours. But we've made it, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to us all. I am genuinely shattered after all that. But what did we learn? Well, pretending to be love is a performance that can always collapse under its own weight. You can fool the world for a while, but you can't fool your own heart. Every false smile, every staged embrace leaves a bruise on the inside, a quiet reminder that lying to yourself is the deepest kind of loneliness. And yet, there is a freedom in the unravelling. There is a courage in saying, I'm not bound and I'm not pretending. To stand alone is not to be empty, it's more like to be open. It is the first step towards breathing again, towards living again, towards discovering that joy does not depend on another's shadow. The sadness of letting go is real, but it's also the beauty of becoming whole. Because when you stop pretending, you stop breaking. And when you stop breaking, you start healing. Single life is not a sentence, it's just the beginning. It's the moment that you learn your own company was the love story waiting all along. Oh yes, and I nearly forgot. Here's the song I promised.
Oh my gosh, what she wearing? Oh my gosh, people be staring. Oh my gosh, Julian and Karen, someone stole her butt. Maybe she forgot to pack it, someone stole her butt. What is all that racket? Someone stole her what? Yeah. Where's your butt, huh? Where's your butt? Ooh, where's your butt, huh? B-U-double-T, butt. Where's your butt, huh? Where's your butt? Ooh, where's your butt, huh? B-U-double-T, butt. Oh my gosh, what she wearing? Oh my gosh, people be staring. Oh my gosh, Julian and Karen, someone stole her butt. Maybe she forgot to pack it, someone stole her butt. What is all that racket? Someone stole her what? Yeah. Where's your butt, huh? Where's your butt? Ooh, where's your butt, huh? B-U-double-T, butt. Where's your butt, huh? Where's your butt? Ooh, where's your butt, huh? B-U-double-T, butt. Oh my gosh, what's she wearing? Oh my gosh, people be staring. Oh my gosh, Julian and Karen, someone stole her butt. Maybe she forgot to pack it, someone stole her butt. What is all that racket? Someone stole her what? Yeah. Where's your butt, huh? Where's your butt? Ooh, where's your butt, huh? B-U-double-T, butt. Where's your butt, huh? Where's your butt? Ooh, where's your butt, huh? B-U-double-T, what?
Thank you so much for watching and joining me for what might be the last Lex and Juju video for a while. But who knows, maybe they'll surprise us. We've got a new series starting in January, so perhaps we're going to see what we missed there. It's been a most honourable pleasure to have entertained you today, and I hope you'll be back again to do it all again soon. So if you like what I do, then please do like, subscribe, and check out one of these little beauties. So until we meet again, stay beautiful, love to my three, and you take care of yourself.
Please subscribe now for a class. Thank you.